Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's very important update on today's likely very dangerous tornado outbreak. So, the Storm Prediction Center has a moderate risk of severe weather across southeastern central Iowa, northwestern Illinois, northeastern Missouri, and another moderate risk across south central Missouri, west and central Arkansas, and far southeastern Oklahoma. In the two red areas today, we have a very large enhanced risk of severe weather extending from northeast Texas through most of Arkansas, most of Missouri, the western half of Illinois, south central Iowa, south central Wisconsin in the orange, a massive slight risk extending from Austin, Texas, all the way up through central northern Wisconsin in the yellow, as well as western Indiana, and then a marginal risk in the dark green extending up into Michigan. So, looking at today's very dangerous tornado threat, we once again have a 15% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location across central eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois, northeastern corner of Missouri, as well as south central Missouri, western central Arkansas, the southeastern corner of Oklahoma, in the two red areas today, including Springfield, Missouri, bordering on Peoria, Illinois. A 10% chance of tornadoes in the yellow, 5% chance in the brown, 2% chance in the green, and these areas are hatched, which means that we're going to be having the chance of seeing strong to violent EF2 or stronger tornadoes. 10% chance within 25 miles of a location of that as well. So if you live in these two red, yellow, and hatched areas, you need to be preparing now for a dangerous tornado outbreak. Make sure you have your tornado shelter plan in place. And I would recommend, if you have access to an underground shelter today, that you be that you that you go to the underground shelter because these tornadoes are in an atmospheric environment where they could be strong to violent and long tracked. Looking at the damaging wind threat, we have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds, 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of location across this huge red area across northwest West Arkansas, most of Missouri, southeastern central Iowa, southern Wisconsin, western Illinois in the red, a 15% chance in the yellow, 5% chance in the brown. So make sure you're preparing for numerous damaging wind reports if you live in the red, yellow, and brown areas today, especially the red and yellow. And we're going to be seeing a significant hail threat today as well, where we have a 30% chance of quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location across central eastern Iowa, south central Wisconsin, central northwestern Illinois, central northern Missouri in the red. We have a 15% chance of hail in the yellow and a 5% chance of hail in the brown. And we have a massive hatched area extending from Austin, Texas, all the way up through south central Wisconsin to Chicago, Illinois. In this hatched area, we're going to be seeing the potential to likelihood of seeing very large hail of 2 inches in diameter or larger, or Hennig or larger in size. I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing hail as large as baseballs, maybe even teacup and softballs in this hatched area today. So if you live anywhere in this hatched area, and especially the red area, you need to be parking your car in the garage today, as very large hail is a large concern today. Now, looking at the latest HRRR model for the simulated reflectivity to time out the storms, starting around noon, actually before noon, we could see a couple of isolated large hail producing storms across south central Wisconsin as early as 11 o'clock a.m. this morning. And this could push into areas like Milwaukee by 1 o'clock. But the big show does not start until this evening around 6 o'clock, where we're going to be seeing supercells firing across central, northeastern Iowa. These could be producing very large hail as they develop. And then as we go into 7 o'clock, we're going to be seeing several supercells across Iowa producing extremely large hail up to teacup, maybe even softball size. Tornadoes, we could be seeing strong to violent long track tornadoes with these supercells by 7 o'clock this evening across central and northeastern Iowa. Make sure you have your tornado shelter plan in place. If you live in that area this evening, going into 8 o'clock, several supercells producing extremely large hail and potentially strong to violent tornadoes across northwestern Illinois, central, northeastern Iowa. Going into 9 o'clock, several hailstorms are likely going to move into Wisconsin. The tornado threat will die down a little bit as we're going to be seeing these storms move into a less favorable environment by 10 o'clock, but large hail is still going to be a very significant concern. Meanwhile, around 10 o'clock, our very dangerous nocturnal tornado threat's going to begin across southwestern Missouri, eastern Oklahoma, as we get our first supercells to develop. Going into 11 o'clock, we could be seeing a giant supercell producing strong long-track violent tornadoes and very large hail across south central Missouri. Going into midnight, a very strong line of storms is going to start to develop across northwest Missouri, southeast Kansas. Could be seeing long, strong track tornadic supercells across northwestern Arkansas by midnight. Going into 1 a.m., these tornadic storms, could be pushing into south central Missouri. And as we go into 3 a.m., the HRRR model is thankfully showing more linear clusters, but you need to be preparing for nocturnal tornadoes from Little Rock through Jonesboro, through southeastern Missouri, south central Illinois, as we have a very dangerous nocturnal tornado threat tonight. The storms are going to push into south central Illinois 4 or 5 a.m. And then as we go into even 7 a.m., we're going to be seeing storms pushing across Arkansas. Thankfully, the tornado threat by that point is going to be dying down. Now, I'm going to be showing you some soundings across the area to get an idea of just how volatile the atmosphere is tomorrow across the area. So, this sounding is from central Illinois. We have a very curved hodograph, very large curved hodograph, indicating tons of directional shear in place across central Missouri. We got the PDS tornado signature. Our tornado chart is indicating we could be seeing tornadoes of EF4 or stronger in this atmospheric environment across central Illinois today. Looking at the service to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity, it is very high at near 400 at 393. The speed shear is at 46 knots at service to 1 kilometer. Service to 6 kilometer is 58 knots, and the CAPE is around 2,000. So all the parameters are there for very dangerous tornadoes across central Illinois today. Looking at southern Missouri, we're seeing much of the same, a very large curved and loopy hodograph, indicating tons of directional wind shear. Across south central Missouri, we got the PDS tornado signature. We got the tornado parameter, significant tornado parameter of 8. And this means that we could be seeing tornadoes of EF4 or stronger in this environment across south central Missouri as well. Service to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity is at 464, extremely high directional shear. Speed shear is near 50 knots, very high speed shear. Service to 6 kilometers is at 70 knots. The CAPE is at 2,400, so a lot of instability across south central Missouri as well. Looking at a sounding across southeast Iowa, northeast Missouri, we once again large looping curved hodograph indicating lots of directional shear. Tornado hazard type. We have the significant tornado parameters maxed out across southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri today at 11. We could be seeing tornadoes once again of EF2 or EF4 stronger in magnitude. Service to 1 kilometer helicity at 426. The shear is at 38 knots. Service to 6 kilometer shear 70 knots. Service or CAPE in general 3,000. Looking at Little Rock. Little Rock once again is under a tornado threat tonight. A looping curved hodograph. We got Significant tornado parameters of around 5, and we could be seeing tornadoes of EF4 or stronger again in Little Rock. 465, service to 1 kilometer, storm relative helicity, speed shears at 40 knots, service to 6 kilometer, shears at 66 knots, and Cape is at 2,000 to 2,500. So if you live anywhere in the moderate and enhanced risk today, you need to be preparing now for a dangerous tornado outbreak, and especially if you live in the southern moderate risk and enhanced risk. This is going to be a nocturnal tornado threat. So you need to be very, very careful if you live in the southern moderate risk. You got to have your NOAA Weather radios turned on overnight, and you got to have your phones turned to the volume to the max so you can be woken up in case of tornado warnings if you live in Arkansas and South Central Missouri tonight. Even Northeast Texas, I would not let my guard down on tonight's tornado threat. So thanks for watching this morning's briefing on today's likely tornado outbreak. Stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.